I'm not an e-bike person. I don't know if this is a good e-bike. I don't know how it compares to the Sur-ron. I don't really care. I'm a motorcyclist who likes to go to the track, hence the silly hat. And when you go to the track, you do a lot of walking, whether it's a motocross track, off-road track, a drift event, whatever you're at, you end up walking everywhere. You're going to the facility over here, walking over here to take photos, riders meeting, whatever you're doing all day. You do so much walking at the track that people came up with this wonderful thing called a pit bike. And that's what I'm wondering if this can be right here. This is the Happy Runs. You get so happy when you run, I guess, I don't know. The Happy Run, what is it? G300 Pro. I remembered that. No, like a lot of influencers, I get continuously harassed to like test the newest e-bike and this and that. I'm like, I'm not an e-bike person, but I saw this and I thought, well, I'm going to the track soon. Maybe this could be like the perfect pit bike. Happy Runs sent me this thing. I said, fine, it looks interesting. Send me this thing. I'm not gonna promise you nothing. We'll see what it is. That's my goal here today, to see how we get along with this thing as a pit bike. What does that mean? That means we're gonna be, again, riding it to different places of facility, carrying things around, letting other random people jump on it, ride it, run it through the dirt here. We'll take it out on the supermoto track. It needs to be able to do all those things. And of course, I think it also needs to be affordable. There's no point in getting a pit bike if it costs as much as your race bike. This is $2,500 right now. That seems like a good deal. But for about $500 more, you get a Papio CL here. And this thing's street legal. We could go to the store with this if we need to. We're also gonna be doing pit duties over the next 2 days of this, and not just me, Dewey's here, Rivet's behind the camera right there. We'll all be jumping on these things, playing around with them, and we're gonna see how they get on. Now, to get one of these Happy Runs, you gotta order it and they'll send it to your house. It's one of those kind of deals. You're not gonna go pick this thing up at a dealership or anything. Sorry, we're at a motocross track. It looks a little something like this.
Let's build a motorcycle, e-bike. I don't know. I send you this thing, it's just a big old box and you gotta put it together yourself.
There's some scratches right here, and that's actually paint. That's not a sticker. And then a good bit more down here. I need to put some more, a little more of this in here, a little more tape. Rear shock, I think this is real. Some of these are fake. There is a Schrader valve in there. Okay, there's actually some air in that. Watch, it's just a chamber in here. It doesn't actually go anywhere. Maybe I'm giving it a hard time. Maybe it's not fake.
Careful doing this, they all...
Yep, there we go. Gosh, we're gonna take this thing in direction of it. The last one I go to install, of course, it's like slightly, it's being weird. I might have to run a tap through that.
Some kind of abrasion on there right there, just at the start, so it's hard to get a bolt in. That's just the very beginning. Threads are good otherwise. The internet will tell you you can't do this. They can't stop me either. Flip these brakes around. I'm gonna just try to do it real quick and use minimal brake fluid. They're fine. Yep, that's the front brake now.
And bam, just like that, you got you a Happy Run. Now, you may have noticed something in that video a little different about my Happy Run versus the ones you've seen out there, and that would be these pegs. Here's the deal. This bike comes with pedals on it, but the pedals are basically useless. The pedals are good from about 10 to 15 miles an hour or something. It's way too tall to start with, and then you're just super pedaling after that. They put the pedals in the chain on this thing to try to make it look like a bicycle, I'm assuming. It's not a bicycle, y'all. Those are on there for looks. Just like the other things they've done with this bike, it's a little confused. Like, it's got turn signals and high and low beam and a horn. It had a plate holder. I took it off. I was like, guys, it doesn't have like a VIN or anything. You're not gonna register this for the road. It's trying to act like it's a street legal motorcycle. It's trying to act like it's just a bicycle, and it's not either one, and I don't think you're gonna trick any cops, and I don't really care about that anyway, because I'm interested in this thing as a pit bike, and knowing that that's how it was, I said, I'm gonna put pegs on this thing. Now, putting pegs on this is not super straightforward. but I'll tell you the process. The first thing you have to do is you're gonna have to remove, sorry, they're starting a generator on the other side over here. You're gonna have to remove stock crank, all that assembly. I've never done that before, but there's some pretty simple, cheap tools to get for doing that. Now, luckily, right behind this area on the Happy Run is nothing. It's just a big hollow spot. The frame on this thing is interesting. It's like a steel, thin kind of stamped frame thing, which seems sort of sketchy, but I think for this application it's perfectly fine. I got some peg and sort of peg holder things here, placed them as sort of low down as I could get them. They're right next to several welds and several seams. This is more than strong enough. You're gonna have to drill some holes, put some bolts and nuts in there, put your pegs on. It's a bit of a process. I'll put links to the stuff to get. Yeah, I didn't tell the people at Happy Run I was gonna do this. I'm sorry, this just makes more sense to me. Now, I will say, realistically, the pegs on this bike, if they were to be in the most optimal position, would probably be about right here. It'd be down here. Up like this, it does feel a little bit like you're riding a scooter, and it's a little awkward. It's not perfect, but it's fine. Look, it's a $2,500 e-bike thing. It's, you know, half the price of a Sur-ron. 6,000 watt hub motor, a 72 volt battery. It's similar specs to something like a Sur-ron, from what I understand about them, but it's a hub motor. And of course, it's not quite as fast as a Papio. The Papio, at least, has a 6-speed, and it will get up to 60 miles an hour. The Happy Run's running 19-17 combo, and here we're running little 12s. This whole thing probably weighs about 100 pounds more.
Get on with it!
Running errands at the track. Errands at the track. It will be a blast. I wonder if there's like a... What's up? 5 is the fastest. All right. Yeah, I will say that the Happy Run over the Papio is one-handed riding. If I need to carry something in my hands, camera, whatever, it's pretty easy to do. That's not ideal. That's starter, mode selector, and then what do you think, man?
Man, I want to get one of these mother.
You like that thing? Well, that thing is.
I've got an e-bike.
You got an e-bike?
And you know, and I love how it rides.
Yeah.
And you know, having one like this, go rip it up on track.
You're good.
Fun.
I think it's a good little pit bike. Get some shots of Dewey out here on the track. I keep letting random people just ride the Happy Run around. They're having a good old time. This is the kind of stuff you do though when you come here. You need a pit bike to do stuff like this. The Happy Run out. What's a pit bike do? But I ain't done it. Woo. You're doing naughty stuff. Track is closed. But I got a headlight. Oh, there's low beam, high beam. Oh, there's a tricky corner. Oh, there we go. This dash is tricky to read. You know, this thing has got same kind of power, both motor and battery size as you get out of something like a Sur-ron, but it just doesn't have the hit, you know, like this is top power mode. And I think if you want to buy this thing and crack a bunch of wheelies, it can be done. I looked it up online. You Google this, you'll see like kids, teenagers wheeling this thing, you know. It's just a little goofy. You got the weird e-bike thing where if you hold the brake, you can't give it power. You gotta be off. You could just disconnect a cable now to do that, but it does mean there's kind of a weird disconnect there. That's an easy enough to fix, but like from the stop, you can kind of, you know, do that. You can get it up, but when you let off, it doesn't always immediately let off. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it feels like it pushes a little. Or let's be honest, the Papio, on the other hand, is like wheeling. It's like people wheeling a Grom. You know, we've seen plenty of that. Look, I could joust this guy right here. If I stick this way out, I can joust you. You know, see like the Knights. Yeah! We've tested them. Rivet tested it quite a bit too, off camera. He was running around doing a lot of camera things, so I brought him in here. The pit bike needed to be able to take us around the track, both as far as I'm concerned. Papio and Happy Run do those just fine. Getting around, what did you think? Do you think was there a preference for just general moving around the place? Did you have an idea?
No, they're about the same, as long as you can use a clutch and generally ride a motorcycle.
Yes, the Papio is an actual motorcycle, but electric was definitely convenient because you just turned it on and went. Carrying things around, particularly like camera equipment, because you're going around the track filming things. What made more sense to you?
Happy Run was slightly nicer because you could use one hand on the throttle, no clutch, and then you could hold the camera, or like I'm using the sling, so I could sling the camera to the side and then use both hands on the Papio. Any kind of tail basket kind of negate that.
Yeah. But there are times I was riding around holding something and filming a couple times with it.
Sure.
That's maybe a little dangerous, but you could do that with the Happy Run really easy.
You were carrying your tripod with the Happy Run.
Yeah, and I also carried it with the Papio, and the Papio I have to pinch it between my leg,
right,
get the bike in gear, get going, and then I kind of just clutchless shift it after that. I guess there's also the issue of general fun. What's the most fun to ride around? I'm going to say it's the Happy Run by far. I definitely enjoy riding the Papio, don't get me wrong. The Papio can pull wheelies, I think, a lot easier. I do think the Happy Run's a little weird trying to pull up wheelies on it, but it's just fun to ride around, and that's been evident. Nobody all day asked to ride the Papio. People wrote it in our group, but nobody came up and be like, that thing's cool, I want to ride it. Everyone who saw the Happy Run wanted to ride it. I let so many random people ride it, and they all had a blast. They all came back saying, this is so fun, I want to get one of these. How much are they? I'll also say that neither one of them had any issue. The Papio, I think, had a half tank when I brought it here. I think it still has a half tank. Happy Run after 2 days, I don't think the battery's down but 1 notch. So I don't think either one of them is a problem if 2 days at the track. The Happy Run is kind of a good deal. It's also a little bit cheaper.
It is. I would rather own the Papio. If I was gonna buy one, I would rather buy a Papio than the Happy Run, because the advantages of the Happy Run aren't worth it to me personal.
And with the Papio, you're getting a street legal bike for $500 more, and that is a huge opening up of stuff that you're not getting with the Happy Run. As much as it pretends to be street legal with its turn signals and horn and its headlight, I don't know, confused thing, especially with the pedals. You should have seen it with the pedals on there. They made no sense. Okay, I think that answers most of the things y'all want to know. I didn't answer anything. Ask me in the comments. Join the Patreon if you haven't joined the Patreon, and you can get in the Discord and come to the track with us, because it's kind of who I communicate with now. Why don't you ever post publicly you're doing these things? I'm like, I don't know, because I have enough people in my Discord that want to go with me.
It's too short a time. I heard like 6 days ago that we were doing this.
We do sometimes fly by. Not everything's like that. Y'all planned like for like 6 months a Colorado trip, and I didn't even go on that. That was other people in the Discord.
Well, there was the Patreon meetup. That was 2 years or a year and a half.
Oh, it was crazy. Y'all planned that forever. And I had almost nothing to do with the planning of it. That was the greatest part. That was my favorite part of the thing. Anyway, thanks to the Happy Run people. It's a silly name. They should probably change it. Everyone has a laugh when they hear it, but it does make everyone. We all week we were saying, "Do you like to be happy? Ride the Happy Run."
Yeah,
and it's a fun machine.
It does make you happy.
It does make you happy.
It is nice. It is nice.
I say too, outside of doing track day stuff, I bomb that thing around the neighborhood when I've had it going.
Yeah.
Go check the mail. Is the pool busy? Let me go see what the pool looks like.
It gives you a smile when you hit that throttle.
Yeah, something about that electric power is just kind of fun. All right, see y'all next time.